to ride.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Watchdog Afternoon Drive. My name is DJ Daner, taking you through up till 5 p.m. right here on FM 98.1, AM 1600, WKKX, FM WVLY 97.7, and AM 1370. Back in the studio again for another Tuesday, and we're not here tomorrow, so want to first and foremost want to wish everybody a happy Veterans Day tomorrow. And Lola, I honestly, I thought it was today until maybe about 2 hours ago. And I always thought it was the second Tuesday or the first Tuesday of the month. And it's always the 11th.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. So let's start off first. Do you have any family members that ever served?
Yeah, I've got cousins and stuff that have been in primarily the Navy. My ex-husband was in the Air Force, and then I had a lot of friends that were in the Army.
Awesome. Yeah, I had both my grandfathers, of course, fought in wars, and then we had my sister. She's right now. She's down in Louisiana right now. I'm sorry, no, Arkansas. And I'd say very proud. We have, like I said, we have military in our family, and it's always a special day to us. And wanted to kind of, like I said, kick off the show by saying tomorrow, I know even though we're not here tomorrow, happy Veterans Day. Of course, we'll have somebody here in the afternoon show. Tomorrow just won't be me. But excited to be here today, Lola. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna stay with the American theme kind of here at the first half an hour of the show. We're gonna talk movies and music. Some of the best soldier movies we've seen. We'll dabble in to the election at the bottom of the hour. That's about the only time we're really going to talk about it during the show. Going to talk sports, that 3 o'clock window. Lola, we're getting into a lot of food eating here coming up the next 2 months. We're going to talk about workouts, getting back in shape, doing things to kind of keep your body moving and shedding off some of that holiday weight that's upon us, that's coming. We're also going to talk about, of course, Christmas parade coming up next week, what that's going to look like. We'll talk about Festival of Lights. We're going to also talk about a few other things throughout the course. Best thing I saw online over the weekend. We're going to talk high school football later on. So Lola, how was your weekend? By the way,
it was good. It was beautiful out. Got a lot of things accomplished outside that I needed to before the snow actually starts to fly. And that's clean the inside of my car, which is always a monumental task. And
do you think we're gonna have a big snowstorm this year? I know you said the snow just a second ago.
Well, according to Fred at the NOAA's headquarters in Pittsburgh, it's going to be a wetter but warmer winter, which means instead of ice, we're going to get snow.
I'm okay with a lot of snow. We only had, I feel like we only had 2 days of snow last year. I'm one of those people that actually, I believe in climate shift a little bit. I think we're going through that a little bit, like very slowly. Our winters just are not what we used to get back when I was a kid. That's just my take on it pretty much, but it's going to be definitely interesting. But I would love to have a lot of snow. I think I would like my son to see it,
Well, I don't mind snow, especially when it's snowing, as long as the roads are decent. But it's the aftermath, the slushy, dirty stuff that you have.
Everybody has to get a car wash the car.
But I hate ice. I just hate ice. So, if it's got to be cold and it's got to do something, let it be snow instead of ice.
I got you on that.
That's the way
The weather outside over the weekend, it was beautiful. It's going to be nice all this week, it looks like, other than tomorrow. I think they're calling for rain tomorrow. But,
if you're cooler.
Yeah, well, a little bit cooler, but I'm fine with it. If it's in the 50s or 60s, I'm content. Obviously, it feels like it's like 70 outside right now, but get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, go outside, kick the kids outside, have a cookout tonight, enjoy the beautiful weather outside. So We don't know how many more days of these we're actually going to get down the road. So, okay, so let's talk about the Veterans Day coming up tomorrow. Let's look at movies. We haven't talked about movies in a while there, Lola. Some of the best, I guess, war movies you've seen, or soldier movies you've seen, as we honor the veterans here in this first segment here. You know, what do you got? What are you thinking?
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket's what you're going to go with?
Well, that's one of them. I like, like The Longest Day and things like that. I really like those.
Did you see American Sniper?
No.
Really good. Other than the baby scene, Clint Eastwood, I still say to this day that lost him an Oscar, as the director. They had a fake baby come in for the baby scene in the nursery, in the house. And you can clearly see he's holding a fake baby. And what had happened behind the scenes of the story, and I love learning these stories about movies and music and things. They had a baby lined up, and the baby was just not cooperating whatsoever. And instead of bringing another baby in, Clint Eastwood was like, just bring a fake baby in here. And that's what they did. But other than that, I mean, the movie American Sniper, one of the best ones I've seen. Saving Private Ryan, you ever seen it?
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yep.
What else you got here? As far as American movies, I guess is what we should say. We should
Dirty
probably.
Dozen.
What is it?
The Dirty Dozen.
Who's in that?
Everybody. I mean,
I honestly don't think I've seen that.
they take 12 soldiers that have been either given life sentences or the death sentence for doing things that were bad. And they give them the option. You either volunteer, it's really not a voluntary thing, volunteer for this mission, which is in all probability going to be a suicide mission. And if you do and you survive, you get a pardon. And they have to go into Germany undercover and blow up this beautiful chateau that they have to kill the generals and people that are inside. Jim Brown is in it. Jim Brown.
I want to see. I've never seen that.
Oh, it is really good. It is Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine. Ryan,
I'll have to actually check it out this week.
Well, it's really good because those criminals, some of them are just nuts. I'm literally, seriously, psychotically nuts, and it's funny to watch them try. It's just good.
When we were talking about American Sniper, that movie came out 2015. For those that might not know about that one, of course, the director Clint Eastwood. All you gotta do is say the name. You know who that is, obviously. And it's the real life story of former Navy SEAL Chris Kyle. The story chronicles Kyle's multiple combat deployments and his tragic untimely death. Which, I mean, I remember when that happened, and it was just devastating to kind of see how everything kind of unfolded with that. But that whole movie is based on his life, and one of the best American soldier movies I had ever seen. A couple others, Lone Survivor. That one just came out the year before, which was 2014. Did you watch that one yet?
No.
So Lone Survivor, based on the heroic tale of Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell. I think I pronounced that name right. The film showcases the power of human will and a man's ability to push forward against incredible odds. That one was powerful to watch. Couple others through Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh, that's a good one.
2016. I feel like that does not get enough attention. The director on that, do you know who that was?
No.
Mel Gibson. The story follows an American Army medic, Desmond T. Doss, as he serves in the Battle of, I'm going to pronounce this name wrong, Okinawa?
Okinawa.
Okinawa. Yeah, I'm terrible.
And it's Desmond.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize.
Desmond.
Becoming the first man in American history to earn the Medal of Honor without even firing a shot.
Well, all medics deserve, American honors.
And then a couple others. I've not seen this one. 13 Hours came out in 2016. Michael Bay was the director. Movie focuses on the security team who struggles to make sense out of chaos during an attack on U.S. Compound in Libya. Based on actual events, the team members do everything they can under strict rules. That's good.
Well, yeah, because they have, rules of combat, and if if they won't give them the ability to do things, then you're kind of like a sitting duck.
Yeah, it's remember Black Hawk Down too? I'll throw another one.
Yes, I did see that.
That one was back. That was back. I think I was in college when that came out. We saw that in the big screen.
Yeah, I did.
That was a good one. It's just as we reflect tomorrow, we make sure to thank a veteran. I'd even go one more. Buy somebody's coffee, drink, meal. These men and women that fight for our country, fight for our freedom. They do things that you don't want to know to keep us safe. And it's definitely it's gonna be a big day tomorrow. It should be a big week, all week pretty much. I'm sure there'll be some festivities, even though with COVID dealing with it right now. I'm sure there's still gonna be things going on in the Ohio Valley, in the States, and in this country, obviously, as we pay respect. Let's flip it over to the music, because we're gonna listen to some music later on today. We had an American kind of theme last week, and we're gonna kind of keep that kind of going later on here in between talking when we take our breaks, of course. Toby Keith, you're gonna hear some Toby Keith today. When I think of the soldiers, I think of Courtesy Red, White, and Blue, Angry American. That song after 9/11. Remember when that song came out, Lola?
Yes, I do.
I was just.
You were just a youngin'.
I was in college when 9/11 happened. So I have friends and acquaintances who fought in that war, and I've seen the effect that it has had. I would never name drop people, of course, but and I've had plenty of conversations too with guys that have been over there. Some that have seen action and some that haven't. The ones that have don't talk about it, and it's. I saw that up close and personal with friends and acquaintances. Some obviously I don't talk to anymore. You just go different routes, in life choices. And you get married, you have kids, you follow your career path and things like that. But yeah, no, I think of Toby Keith a lot. Another one, American Soldier, a great song. So we're going to listen to some good songs today that are going to honor our veterans. Like I said, and for whatever reason, Lola, I thought it was today. I don't know why, but I always thought it was like the second or first Tuesday in November, and I always thought it was the second one, but And
it's the 11th.
What's up?
It's the 11th.
It's the 11th. Yes, it is tomorrow. So we're like I said, we're not here tomorrow, so want to make sure that we acknowledge that. And also, do you know what today is actually?
Tuesday.
Well, of course it's Tuesday. I know you missed me too, by the way. I missed you. Happy birthday to the Marines.
Oh, that's right. I saw that this morning.
I came prepared today. Established November 10th, 1775. And so happy birthday to any Marines out there. And I actually have one we're going to name drop right now. Good old Frank Figueretti. Mario, I went to high school with Mario. Mario just posted about an hour ago. He says happy birthday to all the Marines out there, especially this guy. I did not know Frank was in the Marines. Frank's Hot Dogs, for those of you that might know who I'm talking about. I love talking to Frank. I would get done gigs, and we always go to Generations afterwards, and we would have a couple beers with the staff, and we would reflect on the craziness that was our Saturday night. And we'd talk about our gigs and just kind of unwind, get a game plan for Sunday. And we were always the sober ones because everybody else had been partying there the whole time.
Yeah.
So, you know, you leave, everybody's out there getting Frank's hot dogs. And I just go sit in this chair while he's cooking. He'd be like, Danny, what's going on? And we'd sit and just BS, and I'd get my hot dogs, and I'd go home. And but yeah, I didn't know he was in the Marines. So man, you know, shout out to him. And it's cool. And but yeah, I didn't know that. So that was today. And then I actually have a phone call coming in right now. Probably not a good idea to take this on the air. We do have some people calling in. Speaking of phone, we do have some people calling in. This coming Saturday, when we talk sports, this coming Saturday, the 50th anniversary, unfortunately, of the plane crash down at Marshall. We're going to talk about that. We're actually going to talk to somebody that was, I believe, down there when that had happened. I went to college there, so I've got ties down there, and that's the first thing that you hear about when you go down there. They show you. They show you everything with that. And of course, the movie was after I had gotten done down there. So they made a movie about it. We Are Marshall. Powerful movie. Matthew McConaughey, one of my favorite actors. Did you ever hear his speech, his Oscar speech?
No.
Google or YouTube his acceptance speech when he won an Oscar. I want to say it was for the Dallas Friars Club, I think. It's a movie where he had AIDS. And anyways,
Oh, yeah.
you know what? I just cannot remember for the love of me right now the exact name of it. But his
Dallas Buyers Club.
yeah, okay, so I was right.
Yeah.
So his acceptance speech, you want to talk about a man in Hollywood that's humble. I don't think nobody's more humble than he is. But his speech was very powerful, very motivating. But he was obviously in the movie. He portrayed the new coach. Did you ever see We Are Marshall?
No, I didn't.
Great movie. But yeah, we're going to talk about that later on in the show as well. And then Christmas ideas. I got our Christmas gifts. I got more to come.
Oh.
Yeah, Lola. I don't know if you heard, but I lost 80% of my income this year, so Christmas is going to be.
Yes, I think most of us have done
We're going back to that last week. Cyrus not here this week with us. He'll be back next week. But yeah, we're not going to talk about it. I've lost 80% of my income. But no, we are going to talk about, of course, Christmas ideas. Saw the craziest tattoo over the weekend. Going to talk to you about what that was that we saw. And then when we talk music more, I want to get back onto that before we go to break about, American songs that you're like, this always makes me think of the soldiers. But we're also going to talk about, Lola, what's some music that your friends would be surprised that you yourself listen to? Or like, if you take a look at me, Lola, if I throw out, I like this style of music, would it shock you? What would it take to kind of shock you on that part?
I was kind of surprised that you were really into country.
Really?
Yeah, I just assumed you were all about rock and roll and that kind of thing.
See, I get stereotyped out the gate for country. You're the first person that says, I'm shocked you like country.
I don't know you that well.
Well, yeah. I think when everybody sees me outside these doors, they're like, yeah, it's country guy. I get stereotyped that all the time. I'll throw one at punk rock. I love punk rock.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Absolutely. That 04 to 2009,
So I
8.
was really into grunge.
Yeah, we're gonna have we'll probably do that maybe the following week or the week after. I'll definitely throw you some songs. Is there any songs that I've played so far that you're like, you know what, I kind of like that?
Most of them, there's been a couple that I kind of went.
You're like,
But no, most of them are all right.
So what's a style of music that you like that you're like, I did not that would shock me for you?
Well, you tell me. What would you be surprised?
What would I be surprised that you would like?
Yeah.
Well, Lola, I'm gonna say you're into I'm gonna say 70s and 80s music. I'm gonna say that for sure. I'm gonna say probably you're going to be more shocked, or I'm gonna be more shocked if you come out and tell me that you listen to, I'm gonna say classical.
Oh my God, you got to be kidding.
I'm gonna say classical music. I'm gonna say I don't think that you love it.
Yes.
Do you? Okay.
I'm a season ticket holder for the symphony, and
Are you really?
not the last couple of years, but yeah, in Detroit, we had season tickets for the Detroit Symphony for years. Yeah, I really like just about anything except rap,
Yeah,
and
that's a that was a
some
given.
hip hop. I
That,
don't
that was a
care
given.
for.
I think I could at least persuade you maybe to at least appreciate the beat, maybe on a few of them.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. I mean, but there's just, and it depends on how much I've had to drink. You know?
I'm
Sometimes
drinking Voss water, by the way,
It
ladies
just-
and gentlemen.
that's what my dog drinks. Dog drinks.
When you go back to the music, let's before we get a break, let's go to American music that makes you kind of feel about your soldiers. Only in America, Brooks and Dunn. So we'll go back on the country for a second. I remember seeing Brooks and Dunn live.
Oh, they're great.
Oh, amazing. Never see them
Saw 'em
sober.
with Reba. I
Never
saw 'em
see them
with
sober,
Reba
though.
McEntire. They did a duo concert.
Just never see them sober because it's not the same.
Yeah, it is.
It's
I was only partially drunk.
yeah. I saw him sober and I was like, okay, everybody else was having a great time, and even the band was having a great time. Kix Brooks fell off his chair. He was having such a good time at that one. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is different to see sober. But, we saw them do Only in America, and, it was back in that 04, 05 window, and they changed the lyrics up at the end of the song, and they honored the soldiers, and they brought out guys holding the guns and the flags, and like the confetti shot off. I mean, it was just one of those just moments. You're just, man, I'm always proud to be an American, but you just feel it more in those kind of moments when you're by a stage like that. That one, like I said, stands out a lot. Looking through a couple others, It's America by Rodney Atkins might shock you on that. You probably don't know that song. We're probably going to play that. I'm probably going to add that to the playlist later today. Rodney Atkins does a great job with that song. It didn't get a lot of playback. We talked a lot about Toby too. Of course, Made in America. That's another song he came out with. Ain't That America, John Mellencamp.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great one there. Some of these other songs too, like when we're looking at through, it's like
Born in the USA.
Born in the USA. We played that last week.
Yeah.
And then sticking with the country, American Child, Phil Vassar. I got to work with Phil Vassar 1 year. It was out at Jamboree, and Phil was a great guy, real down to earth, real easy to talk to. And I had heard that song during COVID, and I was like, man, I completely. You ever hear those songs, Lola? You just completely forget about them. They don't get all that airplay, and the next thing you know, you hear it, and you're like, man, it just takes you back.
Absolutely.
And you're like, man, that was just such a good song.
Music is like, I can hear songs and I know exactly where I was, when I was, and what I was doing.
Isn't that a great feeling?
And yeah, because, and then there are songs that are like the soundtrack to my life.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
100% could not agree with you more.
I'm glad I have 30 more years of soundtrack than you do.
Yeah, well, I've tried to cram. Trust me, I've tried to cram. I grew up hating oldies music because of my dad, and now I appreciate it. And, obviously I became a DJ. So, man, back then he didn't even realize what he was teaching me. And, I couldn't stand those songs. But now it's like, okay, they're actually pretty good. But yeah, so like I said, wanting to start the show off today, wanted to take the opportunity and thank the veterans. I know it's tomorrow, but, we wanted to kick off the show kind of talking and paying respect. If you get a chance, like I said, thank a veteran here today, tomorrow, the rest of the week. Anytime you see them during football, I got to meet two groups during the course of the season, just because I was set up by where the flag was getting flown, and I went up and shook those guys' hands and said thank you so much for fighting for our freedom and keeping us safe out there. And we cannot thank you enough on that. We're going to come back. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to dabble into the bleep show that was the election. We'll talk about that. We're only going to talk about it for this bottom of this half hour, and then that's it for the rest of the day. So, but once again, you are listening to the Watchdog Afternoon Drive. We'll be right back.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Hello, I'm Chuck Reddick, Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service. We're working hard to get ready for tax filing season. You know who else is working hard? Identity thieves. Keep your computers and your mobile phones secure. Use antivirus software and strong passwords. Look out for email scams. Secure your home Wi-Fi with a password. Stay safe when you shop online. Look for HTTPS in the web address. See irs.gov for details.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Just like they always do, Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands continues to serve the Ohio Valley. The Lube is still open for carryout and now offering their $10 meal deal every day of the week. Get one entree and one sidecar for just $10. Pick from steak, wings, ribs, and more. Call in or order online at thelube.com and follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their latest specials and promotions.
How do you give hope to a child in the foster care system? It starts with your heart. That tug you feel in yours when you hear that children are waiting for a stable, loving voice to speak up for their best interests. And then it becomes your time. What started out as a feeling that maybe you could make a difference becomes the difference. Change a child's story. There is a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.
Save big during the Black Friday sales event at Thomas Auto Centers. Choose from over 80 in-stock certified pre-owned Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. Get a 2017 Grand Cherokee Limited, 25,000 miles, sunroof, and leather heated seats, just $29,900. Or a 2019 Cherokee Latitude Plus, only 19,000 miles and local trade-in, just $25,228 at Thomas Auto Centers.
Get the best deal, Thomas Auto Centers.
Ball Road, St. Clairsville.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Island Pawnbrokers is now your local firearm dealer. In a pinch? Need cash quick? See us before going to the big box stores. Paying top dollar for firearms, gold, silver, tools, coins, and electronics. Don't lose your good credit. Let us give you instant cash. Stop by 2 North Broadway Street on Wheeling Island, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Island Pawnbrokers. Stop in for instant cash.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together, we will get through this.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. Today's COVID-19 numbers from the State Department of Health and Human Resources show 16 additional deaths and a total of 546 statewide since the pandemic began. Dr. Clay Marsh, a member of Governor Justice's coronavirus task force, worries about constantly rising numbers everywhere.
I think as a country we're headed in the wrong direction.
And he worries this is going to get worse before it gets better.
We're not quite seeing the explosive growth in hospitalizations, but we know it's about a 2 to 4 week lag between more cases and hospitalizations. But there's parts of the country, not as bad as New York City, but are starting to see the kind of surge that happens to overwhelm their capabilities.
The state's daily positivity test rate is at 4.86%. 280 people are hospitalized in West Virginia today. 85 of those are in the intensive care unit and 29 are on a ventilator. Boone County Health Department Administrator Julie Miller says the rapid spread of the coronavirus was evident recently at the Hillcrest Nursing Home in Danville.
Every time we think we get ahead, there, something else, but they continually test. They're using all the appropriate PPEs, sanitation, everything. They're just going above and beyond.
6 residents, though, have died in recent days. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. West Virginia Coal Association President Bill Rainey admits the industry is concerned about the outcome of the recent presidential election.
When you got a guy that says they're going to put the fossil fuel industry out of business, then it surely doesn't make anybody feel good around here.
Rainey, speaking on Metro News flagship station WCHS in Charleston today, noted during the 8 years of the Obama administration, they couldn't even get in the door to talk. He hopes a Biden presidency would at least allow a sit-down discussion on the importance of coal. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Listen to the latest breaking news, traffic, and weather updates and more with WTRF Live. Weekday mornings beginning at 6 a.m. Only on The Watchdog.
I'm just trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to their mother, everything to everyone, up and at 'em bright and early. I'm all business in my suit. Yeah, I'm dressed up for success, from my head down to my boots. I don't do it for the money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory, I just do it anyway. Providing for our futures, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm real good under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call in sick on Mondays when the weekend's been too strong. I just work straight through the holidays, sometimes all night long. You can bet that I stand ready when the wolf growls at the door. Hey, I'm solid, hey, I'm steady, hey, I'm true down to the core. And I will always do my duty, no matter what the price. I've counted up the cost, I know the sacrifice. Oh, and I don't want to die for you, but if dying's asking me, I'll bear that cross with honor, 'cause freedom don't come free. I'm an American soldier, an American.
All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Watchdog Afternoon Drive. My name is DJ Daner, taking you through up until 5 p.m. One of the songs we were just talking about, the opening segment there, wanted to pay tribute to our veterans. Tomorrow, Veterans Day. Of course, today, the birthday of the Marines. So a lot going on, in our country. Taking the opportunity to recognize and to thank every man and woman out there that's fought for our freedom. If you yourself, whether you're in the military right now, or if you previously were in the military, you're a veteran, please call in. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. 304-214-1600. You can at least call in. Let us know the years you were in service, or if you're still active. And we'd love to give you guys a shout out for sure throughout the course of the day. Lola, I was kind of dreading talking about this today coming in, but we have a job to do, and it's, we have to at least acknowledge it. You know what last Tuesday was. We were here, of course. We were very up-tempo, energetic. Of course, I was. You didn't get dressed up, But no, before you have the envelope, right now for those of you that...
Yes, I do.
For those of you, don't open it yet. For those of you that did, please don't open it. I'm sorry. For those of you that do not know what happened last week, I gave her...
What rock have you been in?
I gave you an envelope, and I wrote who I thought was going to win, and I thought by how much, and she's getting ready to open it here in a second, and she's going to let us know. Now, before you open that, I need to let you know something. Last Tuesday, I went into Martins Ferry School to vote, and I thought to myself, what's the best way to handle this? I thought the best way to handle this was to be real and to be honest. So, Lola, I'm being blunt honest here. I did not vote for the presidency so that we could have this conversation. I want the viewers and the listeners to know that I'm not picking sides when we talk about what that envelope has in it. We'll dissect how all this kind of progressed over the course of the past 7-8 days. Because you said it was not going to be over Tuesday. I said it would be over Tuesday. So you are right, I am wrong. You heard me say this live on the radio. I have no problem saying that I was wrong. So before you open that, I do want to let the viewers know that when we dabble in this, when we talk about this, I'm not picking red side, I'm not picking blue side. I'm just letting you know I voted for the folks locally that I had to vote for, that I wanted to vote for, that I wanted to give a chance. For us to have this conversation, I decided not to vote. For the presidency, at least. So go ahead, Lola, open it up. We're going to dabble into it. And I'll give you my thoughts on how everything went down. And just because, too, before you read this off, this does not mean that I support the one that I put on there. It does not mean that I think that person should or should not have won. This just, from an overall standpoint, looking at both sides, that's what I felt. Go ahead.
Boy, were you wrong.
I was way wrong. I was way wrong.
Where did you... All right, folks, he said President Trump, 337 electoral votes to 194.
I was way wrong.
Because last week...
It's way wrong.
Well, but you really... I didn't think you even understood a lot of the Electoral College stuff. So how did you come up with these
With the numbers?
Yeah.
So what I did was I backtracked. The 2016...
Can I keep this for posterity's sake?
I mean, you can. I don't care. That's really what I thought was going to happen. I looked at 2016, and I looked at where... where the country I thought might be leaning towards, I guess. And I thought that former First Lady Hillary Clinton, who was the presidential candidate back in 2016.
I prefer to call her Miss Secretary because she was...
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that's...
I'm
okay. I see that.
Anyway, go ahead.
I thought she had an overall more supporting cast and more people behind her than what I saw from former Vice President, who is now President-elect, Joe Biden. And I was shocked. It does not mean that I was voting for President Trump. It's just I thought that, like I said, I thought it was going to be the way I wrote it down there. I was clearly 100% wrong. Lola, let's call this what it was. This has been a bleep show since Tuesday. It's frustrating, not because of who won. It's frustrating because of how long it's taking to get all of these votes counted. It's 2020. I mean, it's almost embarrassing at this point to say, and I got to watch what I say. It's almost embarrassing to say this is our country right now. We have to take all these days to count votes. It just blows my mind. It just blows my mind on that.
I am glad it's taking all these days because it's proving that they are being meticulous and methodical in voting or counting every single vote that comes, a legitimate vote that comes in.
We can't find a quicker way of doing this?
No, because a lot of states, Pennsylvania is one of them, the legislature, because, first of all, everybody knew the mail-in voting was going to be astronomical this time because of COVID. So they went to the Republican legislature there and asked to allow the votes at least to be the envelopes opened, if not actually counted, but verified, because they have to go through the signature verifications and all this other stuff, and the voter rolls to make sure that people are eligible and that they're voting in the right precinct and all that stuff. They said, the legislature said no, which means all those votes that came in by mail had to be opened and dealt with and verified all starting on Tuesday. Now, the states that already would allow, some states even allowed the votes to be
counted beforehand.
Yeah.
Now, here's my thing. Why can't every state just be on the same? I mean, I get every state has to have their own identity. Every state has to be independent from one another. I get that. But there's some things that I'm like, can we all just get on the same bleeping page?
Well, wouldn't that be nice?
It's just frustrating.
What we've been saying about Washington in I don't know, the last decades? Can't we cooperate? Can't we? Especially this year.
It's just
with COVID.
It honestly was just ridiculous. How late did you stay up and watch it Tuesday?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay. So I stayed up. I drank until about 11, and I was like, I'm done. Can't do it.
See.
And
I would flip back and forth, and but it was like, this is my analogy. It was like watching someone else play poker with my money, and I didn't have a chance to touch the cards.
I woke up the next morning and I thought, whatever happens today, please just don't be buying up all the toilet paper, guys. Seriously. I mean that's really how I kind of woke up the one day, the next day actually after. I'm like, please. I mean, who honestly, in their right mind, who thought two men in their 70s could maintain an election for so long? Seriously. I mean, what a...
Again,
I'm all for the memes.
Again, you are so...
The memes are just keeping me...
Old people. I just can't. It just drives me crazy.
I wasn't even thinking about it. That's a meme. Lola, I didn't create the meme. Somebody else did. Who knew two men?
And you're just chicken to
two men in their 70s could maintain an election for so long, I mean,
that doesn't even make sense.
The memes just kept on the memes just kept rolling in. That was about the only thing that got me through the weekend. It feels like the whole entire country is on Maury waiting to find out who the father is. That's literally what this week felt like, this past week. I mean, the memes just completely, they did not stop. It was at least entertaining. All of us, it's a picture of, remember when OJ was getting chased? So all of us were the cops, and the final election results was the white Bronco. It's pretty legit, It's, it was just, this was the best one. You're not going to understand this. Who would have thought that the race would have come down to the WAP? And for anybody, I know that a lot of viewers that listen to this show have no idea what WAP means. WAP means something very inappropriate, but they changed it to Wisconsin, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. Thought that was pretty clever. WAP most likely will be the #1 song in the country at the end of the year. That's sad to say, but that song will be the #1 song most likely at the end of the year. I'll be shocked if it's not. Or at least it'll be in at least top 3. But I thought that meme was pretty funny. Going kind of through others. If you're a Democrat, you're not going to find this funny. But you see a guy, he goes, "Bleep, I gotta go vote," and he's getting out of a coffin because obviously that was being said multiple times that people that were dead were voting. A couple other ones.
Well, you know what? If you're dead and you're voting, you deserve to have that vote.
If what? No, it's a guy getting out of a coffin.
I know.
You're being funny.
It's like again.
Let's get the baseball real quick because there's the kid rounding the bases, and he gets between third base and home plate, and he decides to go very, very slow. And the coach or the dad is trying to help push him over. And then there's a batter waiting in the batter's box ready to hit again. So the batter in the batter's box, the world. The dad is the United States of America. And the little kid taking his good old time is Nevada. So, I mean, that was pretty funny. I found humor in that picture. I did not find humor that Nevada took so long, and they're still taking too long. I mean, they were stuck on 88,000 for President-elect Joe Biden and 80,000 on the current President Trump. And I'm like, do we have to wait till the other states catch up? Like, how does this work? Like, don't they just turn them? I just was blown away. It just took so long to get those numbers to change, even just a little bit. Like, let's say it was 90 to 82, then just update it. You mean to tell me we had to wait 3 days for Nevada to update their numbers? Breaking news, by the way, as we talk into sports next week, Michigan found more points overnight to take the win over Indiana for the weekend, 42-38. Those memes kept coming in after every football game. I mean, it was entertaining to say the least. Michigan looks really bad, which we'll talk college football later on. The other one was breaking news: Georgia finds more points after the game to defeat Florida, 49-44. Of course, we all know Florida won that game 44-28. It was just a funny meme. But that's about the only thing that was entertaining over the weekend that kind of got me through. The crapshoot that was the election. And Lola, I was a kid when President Bush defeated presidential candidate Al Gore. We're talking about the 2000 election. That was one state. My gut says there's no way you can change over 6 or 7 different states. I think that President-elect Joe Biden will be the president in January. I'm very concerned about how this transition is going to go. Let's go back to the 7 or 8 states they're looking at with the recounts and all this other stuff and the court, legal. If they change it, Lola, I'm scared to death if they change it. I'm scared to death if something happens and it gets backtracked to where President Trump is actually the winner. This country will be in chaos. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm just saying if they make that announcement, and I didn't realize back then because I wasn't paying attention to politics, President-elect Gore and President Bush, back in 2000, that didn't end until December 12th. That was like 37 days, and I did not realize that. So, this will drag on, this will drag on, this will drag on. I had no idea it had dragged on that much back in 2000, so I do expect this to drag out. But I just cannot see them, if they change it, whether it's right or wrong, this country's gonna go nuts.
Those were, like you said, one state, and it was a damn hanging chad, and it was, the people working in the election headquarters or the boards of election had to literally look through each individual ballot because they were little punch hole things, and that's what took so long.
I just can't see it taking so long. When you look at how everything unfolded, this is President Trump's fault why he lost. He was his own worst enemy. From a guy who looks at both sides, to me, he had it. He was take COVID out. If COVID doesn't happen, I think he wins by a landslide. Even though I still thought he was going to win by a landslide. Now, But he's his own worst enemy. And I cannot think of anybody who would say, you know what, Dana, I disagree with you on that. And that's fine. If you disagree, that's fine. I'm not trying to pick sides. I'm just saying from an overall standpoint, looking at it, he's his own worst critic. He's been said by saying, I don't like to lose. I do bad with losing, which kind of scares me a little bit what's coming in January. But, and both sides play. You know, obviously Republicans are crying right now, and Democrats are saying, oh, you know, you suck it up. You know, it was reversed 4 years ago.
Yes, it
and they all
was.
just say the same thing to each other, which is pathetic to me. I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, we're still going to live. You know, granted, you know, we'll have a new president, but, you know, hey, that's what happens. That's why you vote. You know, this is what I couldn't believe. Like, President Trump lost that on his own. People were more excited the next day when President-elect Joe Biden got announced that he was the winner, okay? People were so happy to see a dog in the White House again. I'm literally like, they were voting against him because they could not stand, they were just voting against him because they could not stand the current president. It had nothing to do with presidential.
That's usually how it works.
I was shocked by that. People were like, "You're that insecure. You got to see a dog in the White House."
It's what the dogs rep, and they have two.
I'm like, I don't care who's in office, as long as they're doing their job, as long as they're getting the work done, as long as unemployment's down, as long as the economy's booming, as long as our troops are, you know, staying safe, we're not, you know, this and that. I was just dumbfounded. And first time that I've called everyone that's won the presidency. I've called everyone in my lifetime, and they've won except for that one.
Well, I know someone too that has been right for as long as I have known him until now.
How bad is Hillary Clinton looking this? The fact that she could not win back in 2016, and
she won the popular vote.
I know, but I just thought that looks bad.
The founding fathers for not believing that the American people have the intelligence and the wherewithal to elect the most important person in the world, which is the President of the United States. They said, nope, you can elect all your state officials, you can elect all your representatives, that's fine, popular vote. When it comes to the president, American people are too dumb.
So
we have to protect them.
Unless there is a change in the votes, this will be the last time you're going to hear me talk about politics. I mean, obviously, we'll acknowledge it during the inauguration and stuff in January if everything stands, but that's going to wrap up our first hour. Thank God. I'm over talking politics. Right. We're going to talk sports coming back.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. Watchdog.
Watchdog is